How about this lighting? Yeah? So it's a little bit new. It's a bit more cinematic. Pretty cool. Who's this guy? Who is he? I've never heard of him. Who's this Elliot guy? Who is he? Web design. What a chore, am I right? All I know is Photoshop, and then they're trying to tell me, oh, use the code, use all these things, make the thing. And I'm like, I don't know how to do that. I'm a graphic designer, not a web designer. I can promise you that I have tried like every single web design tool that is out there, and none of them have stuck for me, right? I'm just like a clueless designer when it comes to doing anything on the web. And I've just never really found something that has worked for me. My whole goal when it comes to creating a website or a portfolio or like a landing page, whatever it is, my goal is to make it look cool. Yeah, I don't want it just to look like another template. I want it to be like a reflection of my own style. But every time I try and do something like that, I get held back by my lack of knowledge, and it just stresses me out, and then I give up. I wanted to make a cool website so bad that I even bought a course to learn how to code. And then even then I couldn't figure it out still. It was still too hard, still too stressful, and I just ended up giving up. But then in September of 2021 or around then, I got a very sweet email from a company called Readymag who said that they wanted to work together with me to make some content. And I was like, whoa, Readymag? I've never heard of these guys before. One scroll through the website and I was like, oh, okay. This is like cool stuff. This is like web design tools, but very cool. And I was like, this is right up my alley, being Elliot is a cool guy, of course. So after a few back and forth emails, we worked out a deal and we started working together. And here we are, the culmination of our efforts together as a team, me presenting a video to you using Readymag. Now, I've been designing with Readymag for the last 6 months or so. I started doing some live streams on my Twitch channel, making my portfolio site using Readymag, and it's just been a lot of fun. As soon as I started designing my first website, I was instantly hooked. It's a super easy tool to use. It's got a nice little drag and drop kind of style to it. And I just found it so easy. That was the thing. And I'm someone who's not very good with the technical side of programs. You know me, I don't really use Adobe Illustrator because I don't know how to use it. And that was the one thing kind of holding me back from a lot of these website design tools, right? And Readymag stood out because it was just so easy to get started. And the main thing, it was just so much fun. I was immediately inspired to start making websites. And that was the one thing I couldn't really get my head around before, right? It was never that inspiration to just log on and start making things happen. And there were plenty of nifty features built in that let me really get my head into it and get inspired to make more stuff. So in today's video, we are going to be designing our very own website right here, just for you. I've decided today that I want to make a landing page, something that everyone, whether it be from my Instagram, from the YouTube, from the Twitch, everyone will find this. This will be my website, and people will jump onto this to find like a directory of everything that I do. I'm a big guy when it comes to cross-platform posting and multi-channel marketing and all this kind of stuff. So having that landing page that is super strong and is a really good reflection of me and my style is something that I've always wanted and never really managed to crack. So we're going to be giving it a little crack here today. This video is of course sponsored by Readymag, who have been huge supporters of me for a long time now. So thank you so much, Readymag, for sponsoring the video, and I hope you guys get something out of it. So let's dive in now. So the first thing I wanted to do was show you some of the sites that I've been working on over on my Twitch stream. As you can see here, there's quite a few. So let me show you some of the ones that I'm super proud of. This one here was my first crack at a landing page. It may look very simple to you here, but you're probably wondering, where's that Elliot flair? Well, let me tell you, here it is. It's the fact that every time you hover over one of the links, it floats away from you. It's a very painful website to use, which is why I've got a little sorry there. But it's a very silly thing. This is kind of like my way of experimenting with some of the simple animation stuff that we'll get into soon. But yeah, I really like this one, and this one will always have a special place in my heart, even though I will never publish it. Here's another one that I've been working on. This is kind of like the idea for the main Elliot website. I've got a nice little bunch of text up here, big bold name. I really love these spinning stars in the background as well. And by the way, these aren't GIFs that I've imported. The spinning is all through Readymag itself, including that little image slide in of me doing a thumbs up to the webcam. Even my cursor, as you can see, is my hand doing a little blah, 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 yapping little hand, which I thought was quite fun as well, which you can do all in Readymag. And this site has a bunch of pages that we can go through right now. This here is a page for my Twitch channel, a little bit of information about what it is. I imagine sending this to sponsors and such. I obviously want to pack it up with a whole bunch more stuff in it, but yeah, fun little circle here with all of my emotes for my Twitch channel. My face here with that beautiful fringe actually rotates when you hover over it. And of course, there's some links cheekily kind of chucked into this block of text here, which we'll send off to different places. This here is a page for my Instagram account. What I really like about this one is that I've got these two simple animations here of just these rotating little shapes, the business card of mine and my little headshot profile picture there. And every time you hover over them, they kind of like sink in and bounce out like that, which is a lot of fun. And as you scroll down, I've got a whole bunch of posts here and little images of me dancing that pop up. I've had a lot of fun, okay? I like messing around. It's creative, it's creative freedom. And finally, this is my most recent site that I just did the other week. And this is kind of where I see my massive big dog website, my official website kind of going in the future. What I really like about this one is that it kind of feels more like a design on a website rather than just like making a website in general, right? Like I want it to feel like it's a piece of graphic design on its own. And it's got these really nice subtle elements, like this little star kind of has this shadow behind it, which is really clean. And I really love the colors and the font choice and everything. It's just a whole bunch of features packed into this one design that I really like, and hopefully we'll expand on this in future Twitch streams to come. Speaking of Twitch, most of those site designs that I just showed you were done in pretty much like under 90 minutes to 60 minutes, right? They were super quick, and you can just see how like easy it is to kind of get started and get something going. Even with no experience of web design or anything like that, it was just great to be able to jump in. In fact, over on my Twitch channel, we would kind of, as a community, design sites together. I would give like a little challenge, whether it be like making a landing page, portfolio, whatever it is, and we would all complete and make a website in a limited amount of time and then show off at the end and give out some free promo codes. It's a lot of fun. Follow me on Twitch, just saying. If you want free stuff, I don't know. But I'm going to do a similar thing here on this video, and I reckon I can make a pretty snazzy looking site in a very limited amount of time. So get ready to get your socks blown off as I impress you with my unreal design skills. The real Elliot way. Let's do it. Now, I was feeling a little bit stuck for inspiration, but I've just had a real nice look over the examples page that Readymag kindly provides on their website. And I've got some really cool ideas about what I want to do with kind of like the text and some interactive elements. And also there is a bunch of templates that you can use as well. Now, I'm going to start today fresh, but I have in the past used some of these templates. And let me tell you, these are some of the cleanest templates I have ever seen in my life. And they're very easy to start and just start mucking around with them. So I've got some ideas now, and I think I'm ready to go. Let me tell you what I'm thinking, okay? So I'm a business card guy, right? We know this. I designed business cards for the majority of my Instagram career until I moved to posters because they got more likes. But I'll always be a business card guy at heart. So I've been thinking, I've wanted to do this for literally like a year and a half, that my kind of like main landing page should be like a bunch of business cards that kind of link to different things, right? And that's it. I just want these kind of like cards to be floating around, to be interactive in some way or another. So what I'm thinking is, I know of a few features in my head that I can play with, and I'm thinking of making these like cards with all these links that you can move around as a viewer, right? And it gives you a sense of engagement, and it feels like you're being close. You know, you're getting closer with the creator. And that will then get the client to email me, and then get the client to pay the contract and pay the and then do the thing. I've got the ideas. You just need to trust me. It's going to look great. So here we are on our brand new Readymag site. It's a blank slate right now. I can do whatever the hell I want with this. And I've got some really nice ideas in my head. I changed the background color by just going down here into this tool. You can actually get a whole bunch of grids and guides going if that's your thing. It originally starts with some nice little guides, and you can of course turn on the grid, turn on blocks, sizes, all this kind of stuff. It's completely customizable. So if you like working with grids, then this is for you, but I personally don't. So we're gonna keep this gridless for now. I'm also just gonna tap this background layer, and I've saved my signature colors into like my global color palette, so I can freely change between these as much as I want, which is super fun. And let's add in some pre-designed elements that I've got for you. So in this folder here, I've got a bunch of stuff that I've worked on in past designs. It's one heck of a collection. Don't get me wrong. Some of these more useful than others. The main ones I'm going to be using is this Instagram, print shop, and YouTube links. I think those are my three most kind of important links that I might use with the potential to add more in the future. So what I can do, let me just select all of these, and I'm just going to drag them right into that site. And here they are, freely to move around. So the first thing I want to do with these business cards is make them draggable. Yeah, my original kind of idea for this is to have that interaction with the user. So all I need to do is click on one of these cards, a nice little menu pops up, and I'm just going to click on this make draggable icon. And if we click all three there, we can go into preview the site, and boom, straight away they are draggable. And this works on mobile as well, which is a thing that you might consider. Now, I'm not designing this site specifically for mobile. I just want to have a bit of fun with it and see where it kind of goes. But whenever you want to work in the mobile view, all you got to do is go down here and change the viewport to mobile, and you'll kind of get a general sense of what it's going to look like. The next thing I want to do is just add a link to each of these. All I need to do, click on one of the cards, press this little link icon here, and just copy in that link right there. We're going to press enter and do an open in tab, because I think it's important that if a user's going to click one of these, they can keep this beautiful site open, because that's important to me. I want them to always have this tab open 24/7. If there was a setting to make this tab unclosable, I would make sure it was unclosable. But yeah, we can just preview this site here. Click onto that Instagram button, and there you go. Hey, that's me. That's elliotisacoolguy. That's a photo. That's a photo of me. I'm just going to go through and add a real subtle little rotation on each of these as well. I don't really like the straight on kind of look, and I think it'd be cool if we could like almost like overlap them on top of each other as well. And the user will be able to overlap them too, which I think could be quite fun. Let's just add a simple little rotation on each of these, and that's kind of like more of a layout that I would like to start with. And then when people, of course, interact, they can move it around, which I think is a lot of fun. I'd love to add a little bit of text to this as well. It feels kind of bland as it is. They all feel a little bit small, and I'd like to fill in that kind of background space. So what I'll just jump into here is I'll press this plus button and do a text layer. We can then start typing in this text layer here, or move it up there to the top left. And what I love about Readymag, another feature that I absolutely adore as someone who uses Photoshop a lot and specifically works with type a lot, is purely the abundance of options for text here, right? Our sliders that we've got working here on the left, we've got the size, and on the right we have the leading. The leading, the leading. I'm self-taught, don't kill me. But yeah, we can link those together, and we can play around with those inside that little box there. We can of course change our font, and there is a library of fonts to explore. You can also upload your own custom type for all of you cheeky type designers out there. But what's really cool is there are 5,000 fonts to choose from. That's right, not 1,000, not 2,000, not 50, but 5,000 fonts to choose from. So there's really spoiled for choice here. So I've gone with Neue Haas Grotesque as my font of choice. Call me basic, whatever you want. It's nice and simple, and it does the trick, okay? So I've got a little bit of text here. I'm Elliot, a Sydney-based graphic designer and a content creator who loves to make silly designs and silly videos about graphic design, short and sweet. And I just want to add a second line that says something like, I have worked with big dog clients before. I can't really remember who, but trust me, they were Big dog clients. How about that? I would hire someone in a heartbeat if they showed me their site, if it said that. If it's talking about big dog clients, of course I want to work with a designer who has worked with big dog clients before. That sounds awesome. Wow, who is this kid? I'm going to hire him, like now. So I'll just go and add a little bit of a text around the place here. Let's just move this down to the bottom left and try and line it up there with that top post. We're just going to change this to @elliotisacoolguy. That's pretty much what I am on every platform except YouTube, would you believe? And we can also pin these to the different corners. So I can just pin it here, and then I'm going to pin it to the top left of the browser window. So no matter how we size this screen, that's always going to be pinned there. And I'll do the same with this one. I'm just going to pin it down to the bottom left. So here's what we got so far. I've added my little star in the top right corner, as it's a nice little element to add. And I've also just made the cards a bit bigger too, to give the page a little bit more life. And I can imagine adding more cards as kind of more things come up. I'd love to add one for Twitch, for my Casetify collection, a few other things that I'd love to chuck in. But this is looking really good so far. The next thing I want to do is just a real simple animation for this little star up here. So if I go into the star and I press this little animation tab here, this menu will pop up. I want this to be rotating in a 360, nice little slow speed from the moment that you open the page. So what we're going to do is go animate on load. We're then going to do, for choose effect, we're going to do rotate, or we can choose one of the presets there, but let's just do it manually. So I'll choose effect, rotate. We're going to make this last probably for about like 15 seconds. I want it to be nice and slow, and we'll make sure that is a full 360 degree rotation. And then I'll also just make it loop indefinitely by clicking this little cycle button. There we go. And that's pretty much all there is to it. That took about 2 seconds. And let's have a look if we go into preview the site. And there it is in the corner doing a cheeky little spin. Pretty damn sick. If we wanted to as well, I could put a link on that little star to either send us back to the home page, which I guess this whole thing is, or do like a cheeky little Easter egg and send it to a forbidden YouTube video of mine that is out there somewhere, maybe. I also want to add some animations to these, kind of like idle animations, I think. So let me just experiment with a few things. So let's say, for example, on a hover, right, of one of these, on the hover, let's make the scale, let's just make it increase a little bit, actually. Let's get it to like 105, okay? It'll be a quick little 0.5 second duration. And for the acceleration, we'll do an ease both. To all my After Effects friends out there, ease in, ease out are possibly my favorite things in the world. So it's nice that they have that in here. We won't do a loop either, so it's just going to go up and then it's going to stay until we hover off it. And let's go and preview that. And there it is. Simple little animation there, and this is still draggable too. That's still draggable. So we can take it, we can make it a little bit bigger and drag it around. So I'm going to go and add that to these other ones as well, as I think that's a nifty little effect. So as you can see, each of these now do that cheeky little scale increase, which is a lot of fun. And we can still drag them around and kind of move them and do whatever we want with them, and encouraging the user to interact and engage with my site and explore all the cool things there that can be done. Oh my God, what an innovative... I'm changing the world of web design right now. This is absurd. This is another very cool feature that is very silly in this context, but could be done well if by you, because you're smarter than me. You can essentially make it so that if we hover over something like print shop, for example, my cursor can change on separate elements, right? So we can have a different cursor for each little card if we wanted to, right? And the easiest way to do that is just by going into this tab here, the custom cursor, and we can just choose a file and upload something straight there like I will do right now. So as you can see, if I hover over Instagram, we get this lovely little photo of me with a beautiful smile, definitely not edited. Why would you think that? Hover over the YouTube one. Once again, another beautiful smile of mine, definitely not edited. A little smirk face, because it's like, oh, YouTube, yeah, this is what you're watching this video on. Silly, haha. And then we can finally hover over the print shop, and it's an image of me biting my lip because it's a print shop, you know? It gives that lip bite vibe, you know? I think it's funny. I think it's really funny. Another cool thing that I wanted to show you is that shadowy kind of effect that I did in previous sites. So all you got to do for that is, if I've got this little, I've replaced that yellow star with a cream star, so it's the same as the background. And there's a little shadow option here. All we need to do is open that menu, click this little tab, which will turn it on. And you can play around with the settings here. That'll kind of change how it looks. Like I might just make the blur 4, for example. And you can actually turn on this option here, move on hover, right? So if we have move on hover turns on, that means that even while it's moving, for example, the closer we get to it, the more it'll kind of move around and have a cool little effect. So it could be cool to kind of navigate the website and then kind of keep it up there. And all of this is still movable, of course. And another addition, I have added a little photo of myself kind of hidden back there as a nice little treat for the viewer, I think. I think that'd be a nice little surprise if you were navigating my website, a photo of me with a fringe, don't you think? So I'm very happy with this site. I think it does a lot that I want it to do, right? It's a very simple layout. It's got those cards, that interactive element, and it just feels fun, which is what I wanted it to mainly be. Because I feel like just a simple site with a list of links isn't the most fun thing in the world. And I want it to feel like Elliot. I want it to be part of the Elliot experience. So I think having those interactive elements is really cool to have. In the future, I'd love to add like more links to this in a few different colors, maybe stray away from my regular colors, who knows? And I'd also love to potentially have like a second page, whether it be like a contact me page or an about me page, just something else that I could kind of add. But for now, I think this is a really sick start, and I can see myself working on this more in Twitch streams to come. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm very happy with it. It looks sick. When I want to publish that site, I can press a button and it'll be done, ready to view. However, I can also password protect that site as well. So if I've got some like cool NDA stuff chucked in there, I know some of you go through that a lot, then I can make like a client only site essentially with a password protection, or even specific pages I can lock behind a password, which is a lot of fun. I've been thinking about ideas for like maybe creating like a secret store just for my Twitch community and stuff like that, for example. So it's nice to have like password protection. I can also connect my domain to that really easily once I buy one. And I can also invite collaborators to join on as well, just in case I feel a bit scared doing it on my own, right? If someone else wants to jump in and work on it together with me, they can. I can literally add collaborators to that site and work on it together, which is super sick. There's also a bunch of e-commerce features that you can integrate into your site as well. If you're looking to build a store or a part of your site is a store, you can do that directly through Readymag, which is good fun. If you're inspired to make a site or you just want to play around with some of the features Readymag has to offer, there is that link, cheeky little link in the video description if you want to click that and just have a go. It's free to start. You can create an entire site for free and get it up and running without paying a cent. And of course, there's a bunch of flexible kind of pricing plans that you can look at as well. I've been working on the studio plan, which gives me a bunch of features that Readymag have kindly given me, but this should be pretty much a plan that is perfect for you. They go from plans for businesses to freelancers, studios, anything. Speaking of pricing, Readymag have kindly offered a very cool deal. The first 50 people to use the promo code Elliot, that's my first name with a capital E, can try out the studio plan for your first month for only $20, which is great. So if you're looking to dive straight into it, get a client project up and running, get anything you want up and running, then make sure to take advantage of that cheeky little code. Thanks, Readymag. So that should give you a general idea of what it's like designing on the web with Readymag. It's a lot of fun to use. It's super easy. And if I can do it, you can do it. Trust me, I'm not very good with web design at all. So it's nice to finally have like a platform that gives you this kind of creative freedom when designing. The way I like to think of it is it feels like what I do in Photoshop, right? I can get that blank slate and I can just have a vision in mind of what I want. And I can pretty much always guarantee that I can recreate that on the page and with no coding at all, which is super sick. So thank you so much, Readymag, for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to learn more, the link is in the video description. And hopefully you got something away from this. Web design is a real tricky thing to kind of dive into, and it can be very, very intimidating. Trust me, I have been there. So if you're looking for something that you've never really tried before and want to get into web design in a really nice, easy way, then Readymag is definitely the go. And they've been supporting me for a long time, and I really enjoy using their product. So, hey, thank you so much, Readymag, for sponsoring the video once again. Thank you so much for watching and supporting me, Elliot, the channel that you're watching. And I'll be back next week with another video just for you. Thanks for watching. I've been Elliot. You've been yourself. And it's been a pleasure. Until next time, See you later.